Hello, my name is Patrick John Mills. I'm an artist and I've been painting for over 25 years. I wanted to share with you how to paint abstract figurative work and a few little tips. Here I'm showing you I get a spray bottle and I get some gloss medium. I put some of the gloss medium into the spray bottle, and then I use warm water and I fill it up, and the warm water helps it kind of just break it down a little bit. And then I add the warm water because otherwise the gloss gel is too thick and it won't be able to spray, so you have to dilute it. I don't do it exact. I just let it go. I say about 20% gel medium and 80% water is about what I would aim for, if that helps. I finished the painting on the left, and I had been working on the other painting on the right. I put the canvas on a wall, and the wall is quite bumpy, so it makes a nice graffiti. Here are some of the pigments that I have, or paints, and I am slowly adding them. So here is a nice green. It's a phthalocyanin green lake, and I thin it out to make it more transparent, to kind of give windows. And here is the spray bottle, so I put some of that on and then I smudge it out. I keep my brushes, I work with one brush at a time for a color. That way I don't get a mop, I don't make mud. And so I'm just thinning out the paint, extending the properties of the pigment so it's nice and transparent and so you can see through it. And yeah, I work the whole canvas at once so that you're not stuck in one place. Put a little bit of the thinned out mixing medium, and yeah, I just start painting. Here I'm putting a red, or it's an alizarin crimson, so it also has similar properties as the phthalocyanin green lake. Both of them are transparent, so I'm just putting them on and scrubbing them around and putting them in places. I put them on the edges of the form of the figure, and here is a different angle so you can see what I'm working on. And I'm just adding the red, and you can see what the green looks like there. Adding some spray bottle, smudging it around, and thinning it out so that the paint gets a nice wash, so you can see the underpainting. So I'm thinning out the paint, and it kind of is like a house. So there's walls and windows, and by thinning out the paint and making it so you can see through it, it creates a window, and that transparency allows the painting to give and take and breathe in terms of positive and negative spaces. Now I'm adding an ochre, a yellow ochre, and yellow ochre is an opaque pigment, so I'm creating kind of the walls. Oh, I jumped a bit here, and I have some green, and I'm thinning out the green very thin and doing different kind of tones and washes of that. I'm moving all around the canvas at once. I don't get stuck in a spot. The whole painting develops as a painting, and I'm just doing slight variations of just adding color everywhere. The reds are always on the edge of the form predominantly, where I'm having it's a transparent pigment is a transitional color. So when you're breaking from the opaque form to the background, it kind of threads like a bridge. And that's one of a lot of other artists do that. When you look at Soutin or when you look at Van Gogh, they always put the semi-transparent pigments on the edge of the form. Here I am just thinning it out, extending the properties of the paint, slowly building it up. Not really worried about things so much, just adding color. Adding the green and red work really well together, and they kind of pulsate and vibrate. And so you start being cognizant of how here is the red with another red. I've used two reds at the same time. And just by using an alizarin crimson with a cadmium red, you get that pulsation of that close-up that I showed. Just trying to share with you. That really helps activate that space and makes it, kind of plays a trick on your eye as to what's going on. It's so if you can put like a cadmium red with an alizarin crimson red, it helps pulsate. I would put the alizarin crimson on first because you're putting on the transparency first. And then the red, if you put on a cadmium red on top and you put it on kind of thick and impasto, it creates a depth, a tension between the two reds and a pulsation. So I slowly just keep working away and building up the whole form and paint the whole space. I'm putting the yellow ochre on now and just kind of building up the layers and building up the warmth of it. Now I'm wanting to share with you palette knife. So it's just I'm really working the whole canvas. I put it on quite I glide over it. I don't over rub it. It takes a while to get a more of a delicate touch, but you just kind of just enjoy and be very gestural. Getting some more paint, adding it on. When you're working wet on wet, if you put a little bit more pressure, you will dig up the underpainting and it will mix into the top coat and you get really nice effects. I think I show that in a minute. But I don't overload and put too much paint on the palette knife, and I preserve and maintain the underpainting and the colors that I had. I kind of I try to think of it in terms of a spider's web. When you're having a spider's web, you're threading everything. Here I am cleaning my brush. I don't use too many rags. I have a big thing of black now. Now I have my windows. I have a bit of a spider's web of the filtering of all the colors. And now I'm starting to add form. I'm cleaning off my brush right now because it was in a pail. So I'm removing the water. And now I'm just starting to build up the structure. You start kind of building like the 2x4s or like the mechanics, the different forms that I'm trying to add to it, different gestures and slowly building up the layers. I put it on quite softly and I move around a lot and move everything and start painting everything all at once. I get to the level of where I'm working. I think it's important that your heart or your chest or your attention is where you're working. So you're putting all of your attention and really immerse yourself in your process. Really just, I don't have a fear. I keep painting and moving and creating these layers and forms I'm not worried if I make an accident or do something that doesn't work. If something doesn't work, I just scrape it away or add more paint or spray the bottle and remove it. I don't want the painting to look like it's has inhibitions or where I'm constricted in it anyway. I think it's not about that. It's about just having everything as a pure sense of freedom. And that's really, the subject matter is one thing. It's a vehicle to capture that freedom that, you're trying to express. Here's a close-up of the finished painting. You can see all the different textures and all the different mark makings. And I really had a great time painting this, and I hope you gain something from this, from just watching. You can see how all the different colors and forms and things are all built up, and there's the green and the red, and they're filtering through. And yeah, just I really hope you have fun painting, and thank you so much. Please leave a comment, please share, and if you have any questions or anything you wish, just leave a comment and I'll do my best. Thank you so much.